got kicked out of his master's house, blamed for false rape, thrown in jail, spent like 3-4 years in jail, was let out of prison and became the governor over Egypt. Now he the man in control, and his brothers who had thought to kill him and sold him away from his family in the first place 20 years ago, they wind up coming into Egypt, but they didn't know this was their brother. They thought their brother was dead when they sold him. They didn't know that this was their brother in front of them, and he looked Egyptian. He's speaking in the Egyptian tongue. He didn't even talk Hebrew to him. He spoke through an interpreter to them, like, I'm the big guy. And they like, man, this the big man. And he set him up because he was trying to find a way to reveal himself to his brothers. So he set him up to keep one. They had to go back get their brother Benjamin. So he put him in jail. They get out of, he let him out of jail. Y'all go back, and if y'all true, y'all come back with y'all little brother. I believe y'all. Y'all can go back home, and I'll let y'all brother who I'm gonna keep here in prison, which was, I think it was Simeon. Yeah. I'll let him go back too. Now, as he did, remember, he not talking to him direct. He's talking to him, but he talking in Egyptian. Then this guy talks in Hebrew to them. So they don't know that Joseph can understand Hebrew. Look at what happened. So verse 21. I'm sorry.
And they said one to another, we are verily guilty concerning our brother, in that we saw the anguish of his soul when he besought us, and we would not hear. Therefore is this distress come upon us. And Reuben answered them, saying, spake I not unto you, saying, do not sin against the child, and ye would not hear? Therefore, behold, also his blood is required. And they knew not that Joseph understood them, for they spake unto them by an interpreter.
So, and it say Joseph had to make him, excuse, I'll be right back. He had to go somewhere and cry it off. But his brothers had an argument right there among themselves, like, man, dude, yo, we got trouble on this, man, because of what we did to our brother back then. And Reuben, the oldest, like, I told y'all back then, right? I told y'all we shouldn't have did nothing, but y'all ain't want to hear me. Now look, now God is making trouble in our lives. 20 years we've been paying for this. Probably anything crappy that happened over 20 years, every time something came up, outside of, they leave Jacob, their daddy, because their daddy don't really know what happened. They probably go have conversations like this all the time. See, man, we suffering, man. Man, we done killed our brother, man. Man, God gonna kill us, man. You know, just them. And they talking among themselves. They had this kind of conversation, but they didn't know Joseph, who he was, and they didn't know he understood him. But you know what that showed him? You know why he went and cried? One, because he loved his brothers, but number two, because he seen that they were so troubled and bothered by the evil that they did to him, that 20 years later, he's setting up how he's going to play this thing out, but God is also showing him the condition of his brothers in a spirit, that they are messed up behind what they did to that man 20 years ago. All of them, they messed up. But he had to see that. He had to see that. Let us go now to chapter 45 and start reading at verse 3. Same book, chapter 45. Go right over to chapter 45. And we're going to start reading at verse 3.
45 and 3. And Joseph said unto his brethren, I am Joseph, though my father yet live. And his brethren could not answer him, for they were troubled at his presence.
Now, read the whole story on your own, because it's good. Ain't my job here to read the whole story today. But Joseph was about to keep the little brother they brought back. Judah pulled him to the side like, man, look, we told you what's up. Our dad is old. We had a brother who he lost, who he loved. And if I don't come back with this boy, my dad gonna die. When Joseph heard that, he couldn't contain no more. He started wailing. He told everybody to get out. And it was just him and his brothers left alone. And they shook. Because why is this Egyptian official telling everybody to get out of here? And he crying and however it looked. And they just standing there and he like, it's me. Is my father okay? They like, what are you talking about? They ain't know what was going on because they didn't know it was him. He said, it's me, Joseph, right? Continue. Verse 4.
Verse 4. And Joseph said unto his brethren, come near me, I pray you. And they came near. And he said, I am Joseph, your brother, whom ye sold into Egypt. Now therefore be not grieved nor angry with yourselves, that ye sold me hither. For God did send me before you to preserve life. For these 2 years hath the famine been in the land, and yet there are 5 years in which there shall be neither be earing nor harvest. And God sent me before you to preserve you a posterity in the earth, and to save your lives by a great deliverance.
So, and he said, go get my dad. And eventually they went and got all their families, the whole 9. He was like, look, don't be angry with yourselves. Joseph see that they repented. They were sorry for what they did, truly sorry. Not that fake, corny sorry. Not that I come and say sorry because he came and talked to me, so sorry. But straight up, I just want to die because I'm so wrong and I'm tormented with the wrong I did. That is the kind of conscience that we are going to have in order for Christ to see us in the same light. Because didn't he come die for us? Joseph was he realized through the wisdom of God seen this all played out. It's crazy how it played out. But don't be angry with yourselves. You know what he basically was telling them? I forgive y'all. Forgive yourselves. And that's one thing about us. When we learn the truth, we stay so messed up on how messed up we've been that we haven't even given ourselves an opportunity to put a foot forward. Yes, we are supposed to feel guilty, but it's not to stay in mire of feeling guilty. It's to feel guilty and to come before God and say, I'm wrong. And repent of your wrong, and now I want to walk right. Teach me how to walk right. Joseph seen when his brothers was having that conversation and they didn't know he could understand them, and they didn't know it was him. All these different conversations, they always talking about, man, what we did to our brother, we paying for. And he hearing this, and he understood. And see, we don't see the Messiah, but he sit from his throne in heaven on the right hand of the Father, and he hear and he see when we are very sorry. And when we know we have done wrong, and when we know that his death, we are part to blame for his death. Because we have sinned. That's a main thing. And when he see that and when the Father see that, they are so merciful and long-suffering that they could choose to be like, yo, don't be angry with yourself for what you did to me. I know what you did, but everything is for a purpose. I forgive you. Now, get everything right, because my whole purpose and what I went through was so that you and my people and my loved ones can live and not die in this world. What has been revealed to this congregation and others like it across the globe has been given to us so that we don't die in this world. And I ain't talking about die to physical death, because all of us will have a day appointed to die. That could come if, you know, but we don't want to die in the spirit. We don't want to die unto doing what's right and walk around as the living dead. And that's what we all are without him. We think we got a life. If you trust a $200-300 paycheck, $400, $500, $600 paycheck, and that's life for you, and you can't live without it, that's sad. And that's where the kid is right now. So I'm telling y'all, I'm in a sad predicament. This community, this unity, this coming together, this idea of the Nazarene, Ebionite, true Christian disciple walk, ain't nothing else hitting up in this world, y'all. Stop fooling ourselves. Y'all think something else hitting? Well, tell me what else hitting and compare it and show me how it's hitting. Now I just have to perform. But I ain't meant to do it alone.
The application.
That's right. That's right. The application of it. Go ahead. Let us go now to this next part. Here, let us go to Genesis 50. Go right over to chapter 50. Start reading at verse 15.